My company's called Drew Watson and Co. I am the Drew and the D Watson. I was actually born here in 1943, and I wasn't really into sport or anything. I was always into on the farm. We had a small dairy herd. It was a small dairy herd now, and those days was normal. We'd run with 40, 50 cows. We used to milk them in the byre, and believe it or no, we used to milk them in the byre, slack the chain, and let them wander across the A75 to the fields across the road. I was always interested in the farm. I went to a local school and I went to Wallace Hall Academy at Closeburn. That was supposed to be kind of a half agricultural school. And I went to Barn College for a year, and then I came home and I've had to work hard ever since. It is a family business. My wife Jeannie and my son John, they're all business partners in the business. Heather is my daughter's now in the office, which is a big benefit we found. Working with John every day. It is possible. If he'd answer his phone more often, I'd work with him better, work with him easier. I see him briefly every morning because it's just in and it's on the phone. It's limited for time because he runs the kids into school every morning, 8:15, so I see him briefly every morning, and now and again I call him in and we have a meeting if there's a lot of things to attend to. He was always interested. I wouldn't say 100% interested. He would have his normal schooling at the local schools. When he was old enough, he went to Auchencrew College, which was based on an agricultural college. And then he came home and just worked. He came home with a lot of big ideas. He was going to cement all that area out there. It's still not cemented. He came home and he's interested in business, and he drove tractors for a long time, and gradually he had to help with the business more. We're in the local AD plant, and that's quite a big concern for John. Between that and keeping the staff right. And that. For the past 10 years, John has boosted things quite a bit since he come. Like, he's a young man with plenty of ideas. I wouldn't say plenty of money, but young ideas. And I've had to hold them back now and again. We do have different opinions now and again. It is life, yes. Mm-hmm. No, I'd be lost without him, and I don't know whether he'd be lost without me. Maybe he'd be pleased without me. I don't know.
I'm Heather, originally Watson, Heather Tinnan. I now work for Drew Watson, working for Drew and John in the office doing their paperwork. I was one of 4, the only girl and 3 brothers. Not so much interested in the farm at that early stage. Dad was out milking the cows, away in the combine. Mum would milk the cows when Dad was away working. I would work in the house for them. My interest kind of grew as I left school, and then grew up, got a job away from the farm, and then eventually came back to the farm, joined the company again. Working between Drew and John is as you say, I'm the man in the middle there. They're both different characters. Dad's the man that's built this business up. We are very proud of him. John's the man that's come from college, left college, come in here with fresh ideas to again help build the business up further. They both work well together in their own way, but yeah, I can be the linchpin in the middle. The whole team gels together. It gels in its own way. We always have been a family unit, as in we've always stayed close here. I'm 5 minutes down the road, John's the farm next door. We are a family unit here, so yes, you know, we've just always known being around each other from day one. Farming life, country life's great growing up for anyone. My children as well, we live in a farm. Great life, great life. We have sheep now, let the beef go, and some of our land we've actually rented out. So myself and my husband my husband works with John at the plant, he works along there, and I'm based here.
We used to be all Ferguson tractors. I thought there was not another tractor, but a Ferguson tractor. Our first one when I was a wee boy would be a grey petrol paraffin Ferguson. And then got that converted to put a Perkins engine in that, which the kind of thing. And if you could start it in the morning, it went okay after that. Then my first new one would be a Massey Ferguson 35. And without the carb, but we did eventually put the carb on it here to buy them separate in those days. And then I'd have a 35X, which had diff lock, which was useful when ploughing. Then I'd a Massey 165, step up. We changed to New Holland, we put a New Holland. I'd one good one then, and he was definitely well, it was Ford these days, with a Ford. It's a continual job. Change the tractors, either they hire them or buy them. It can affect your whole future. We can still pull the negotiating. It keeps the rest on their toes, basically. That's another way around it. To a certain extent, it is a driver's choice, to a certain extent, within reason.
The boys own their tractors, as in the names are on the tractors, and that gives them the sense of achievement. It gives them the ownership of that tractor. They do keep the tractors well, look after the tractors. They're also on the road, their name's on the road there. They're also on the job. Again, the name's on the job. The farmer knows who done that job. So that then evolves into the employee doing a good job. Roughly at any one time, say in the summertime, we can have up to 50, 60 employees working here. We've got the boys in the books, you've got the subbies that come on. We've had the boys over from New Zealand this year, boys in from Ireland. We're getting a varied mix. It's a good workforce. We've got some skilled, experienced, dedicated boys in the workforce, which helps support John and Drew.
We're a lot of good boys. We just have to point the finger to them and where to go, and they can go it. And we don't have to go and supervise them. When I'm not spraying, I do go around to see what's happening. At the end of this week, it'll be more or less the end of the season. We'll get the last of the maize done, and we've still 18 hectares of wheat to plough and drill. Weather-wise, it's been difficult this season because we are very weather dependent. We've maybe one good day and then 2 or 3 wet days, and it makes it difficult, and it's difficult to plan. If you work plan for the next 2 or 3 days, and you get up in the morning, it's wet. So that upsets the plans, and good to work with that.
Oh, we're just over at Ingleston Farm here, chopping some maize. There's 100 acre to do here today, so there is maybe 100 acre left after today, so there will be, something like that. Not be far off that anyway, so there won't be. There was a good chunk, to be fair. There was probably more as what there was normally. It's that it seems to be picking up every year, maize. Seems to be more and more people putting it in every year, so there would be. Everybody that's already grown it for a while seems to swear by it anyways. They wouldn't, or at least they're not planning on stopping putting it in anyways. They reckon for the benefits and buying concentrates and that, it makes it quite a beneficial crop for them. So everybody that does grow it seems to swear by it anyways. Quarter of the stuff we do are plastic. We do drill a lot of plastic maize, so we do, compared to conventional, so it is. This here, to be fair, he used to put in a lot of plastic maize, but he's went more conventional now, so he has. He's always put wee bits of it in, but this is his first year of doing as much conventional, so we'll see how it goes for him anyways. He might go back to putting more plastic in if he can see the benefit of it. It's quite an expensive one to grow under plastic, so Be interesting to see what he thinks, so it will be, compared to the plastic stuff. My grass season didn't finish up great at all, so it didn't. It didn't end well for me at all. My chopper burnt to the ground, so it did. It went on fire and there's absolutely nothing left of it. Chopping up above Moffat, so we were, for a farm that we do, it's quite a big job that we do. You'll do 4 cuts. We were chopping up there, believe it or not, on a very wet day. It certainly wasn't a dry one. So we were all, luckily, we were almost finished right enough, so we were. And we were on the last field of the grass, and it was going down the row. This error code come up for the header, which they sometimes do that. They sometimes throw up the odd error code, so they do. So I wasn't really too concerned. It was just for the header, so I stopped, lifted the header up, it lifted up, lifted the front of the header up, it done what it needed to do, put the wheels in and out. I was like, oh well, must just took a bit of a turn. Carried on chopping down the row, lifted the header up at the end, turned round about and was going up the next row, and I just seen this pluff of kind of smoke come by me, and I thought, oh no, what was that? And I just looked behind me, and the flames were hitting that window right behind me there, so they were. Okay, kind of fight or flight kicks in, I guess, I suppose. I never even, I just banged the key off. I never even turned the drum off. I just turned the key off, grabbed my phone that I bought 2 days before that, and jumped out the cab. But by the time I got out the cab, the flames were like coming across the steps, so they were. But luckily I managed to get my arm underneath it and grab a fire extinguisher. So I managed to get myself down the steps, and then when I got down at the bottom, I was trying to find, but I couldn't see where it was coming from. I knew it was coming from the back somewhere, but there's maybe a wee inch gap between the diesel tank and the panel, so there is. And I just looked in there and there was this massive fireball. So I shoved the fire extinguisher in there, but I'd used too much of it getting down the steps, to be honest. And it lasted 5 seconds, and that was it. When I looked up to get the other ones, well, they were under flames, and it was gone by that point. Though there was nothing we could do. It was going. It was John I phoned, so it was one of the rare times he actually answered first time. So it was, thankfully. But I think he knew something was up. Well, I did know something was up, because when I phoned him, he says, "Oh, what's happened?" I was like, "How do you know already?" And he says, "Oh, I've had obviously through the JD link." He says, "I've had 90 error codes come up through the JD link. What's happened?" He says, "Oh, did you blow it up?" I was like, "Oh no, a lot worse than that." So it was. And he was like, "Oh, what's happened?" I says, "Well, standing watching it burnt to the ground." He was like, "Oh no." I was like, "Aye." I says, "There's nothing we can do." I says, "It's going. That's it. It's gone." He's like, "Oh," and hung up the phone, and he says, "Oh, I'll be there in 2 minutes," and hung the phone up. And right enough, it wasn't long till he was up there, so he wasn't. In another John Deere, so we are, borrowed off a Mike Dowell in contracts down at Spatria, so we are. He kindly gave us his, him and Joe. We work quite a bit with Mike anyways, so we do. We work quite a bit with Mike, so, and he's finished up for the year, so he is. So it worked in quite well that we got a lend of his, and we already had this maize front for it, because that was the kind of issue when our John Deere burnt down, and obviously we don't have another one. We're all classies apart from what was that one. It was a bit like, oh, what we're going to get to put on this. And we did think about putting kind of brackets to make it fit a class, but then this is like a quick coupler on it. So then it was like, we're going to have to rewire the header, and then do you buy another John Deere next year and then have to change it back? So it made sense to get Mike's when he offered it, so it did. It made sense. I suppose we were quite fortunate that most of the grass was, we would manage with 3 for most of what grass was left, so we did. We managed to get by. There was maybe a couple of days where another chopper would have been handy, but we managed to get by the worst of it, so we did. Managed to get by the worst of it. Yeah, 2 harvesters in the one farm, just to, like I say, it's 100 acre. Just to get through it and try, because I think it's going to rain at the end of the week again, and just to try and get the maize tidied up. There's a lot of boys wanting it off now. It's been a bit of a testing maize season really, so it has. We had a lot of rain over the weekend there, so we did. So a few dry days trying to get it all lifted and get it off. It's been quite an ignorant summer really, so it has. I think everybody's a bit quite glad it's coming to an end. I think everybody looks forward to kind of sociable winter, you know. You do put in a lot of hours during the summer. This year it seemed to be all the dry weather was on the weekend, so you very rarely got a weekend off the way it worked in. But I think again, I mean, it's nice to keep busy and that, but I think everybody's quite looking forward just to getting to slurry and doing odd jobs and having maybe a bit of a quieter time, so it is. Because even the maze this year, it's been quite antisocial, the maze this year, again, not been as nice as last year. You know, last year, the weather was with us for most of it, whereas this year it's just been rain and trying to get it in between the rain showers the whole time, so it has been. But hey, we're getting there, so we are. Like I say, if we get a good week at it, we'll be tidied up, maybe a 40 acre left for next week or something, and that'll be it. So that'll be the job tidied up. We'll get slurry on during the winter. I'll be on a dribble bar during the winter again, and then hopefully we'll have a chopper sorted out by then, and we'll have another one next year. We've got the maize header for a John Deere, we've got the whole crop header for the John Deere, so it would make sense. I like the John Deeres, I do. I like the John Deeres, but hey, a Claas is a good chopper as well. They both have the good, they all have the good points, bad points. But I would imagine it'll be another John Deere, so it will be, I would have thought. This man here, Liam, he's hired in, so he is, but apart from that, the rest of them are all ours. There's always days you're going to need a couple extra. You know, there's boys out doing other things today as well, so it's handy to have these boys that can come in as well. Like Liam, he's been with us all summer, so he has. He's been with us a lot during the summer, and so I mean, a lot of the boys that we get to come in and help us, you know, they're with us quite a bit, so they know how it works, they know how it goes, they know the script. So basically, they just come in and they know what's going to happen, what the plan is, and they get on with it, kind of thing. Because we do use a lot of hired help during the summer as well, especially this summer with the weather. So it has been, we've been using a lot of hired help for the likes of trailers and that. I always think when you look at the kit we're running, the tractors we're running, I mean I drive a chopper, and even the tractor go back into its full spec Command Pro 215. You know, they look after you, so they do. John's always accommodating for that. I mean, I've got sheep at home, and there's a few times I've kind of phoned him on short notice and when I could really do with tomorrow off if possible, or the next day after that off if possible. And at lambing time and that, I'll take 3 weeks off, 3 weeks, 4 weeks off for that, and it's never an issue. I don't think, at the end of the day, I don't think it's all about the kind of tractor you drive. Everybody wants to drive a nice tractor and that, but if you've got a boss that'll, like John and Drew, that when you need time off or you need this off, you know, I've got this holiday booked. No problem, we'll work round about it, you know. As boys take holidays in the summer, it's never an issue. It's never an issue. We can always get folk to fill in on that, and we all work hard. We all need time off to go and do things and that as well. And yeah, you can't really complain. Pretty unrealistic that I'll ever get to the stage that you can farm full time. But again, with the likes of John, you've got that flexibility that you could say to John, right, I'll drive your chopper for you all summer, and then whenever you need me in to drive a chopper, I'll drive the chopper, and then after that you can go and work at home or can do other things. You've got that flexibility with John's. It'd be nice to be able to have a kind of farm on this one and then work for John as well. You know, try work the two together, which I don't see why you couldn't with John. Like I say, very accommodating. Drew and John, they're both, and they're happy for you to go and do something like that as well, so they are. We'll just have to see how it goes. So we will. We'll see how it all goes.
The D. Watson company has recently been nominated for an award. We're going up to Glasgow on Thursday night, one of the finalists in the Contractor of the Year. So we are proud of that. It's a great achievement for all involved. It takes everyone to get the end result. Starts at the top, starts at Drew and John, then down to the men to get the job done. Girls in the office, there's another girl in the office that works with me, so we get the jobs in, the invoices out. It's the wheel keeps turning. It works fine. Yeah, so when we're away on Thursday, there's so many of us away, the rest will be back here just holding the fort. And that's what it's all about. You know, Drew and John's built up this team where you can leave a dedicated team back here. The boys can get on with the job. They don't always need someone to look over them, to come and check the job in the field, to speak to the farmer. So yeah, the company still keeps going.
My wife has been a very important part of the business. I don't think I'd have been here nowadays if it hadn't been the support of my wife. She used to do all the bookwork. When you had the cattle, she kept the passports and so on. She was active in the business too.
She supported Dad from day one. When the business started to grow, when it was just Dad that was running it there, he was away combining, Mum was the one that was doing it. She was out milking the cows. She was in feeding us as kids when we were small at the same time. She was wearing various hats at that stage. Mum was the one that then, when I got interested in the books here, she introduced me to the books. I would start doing the VAT for her, I would help her out with that. So that was my first job in here. Yeah, she certainly has been an asset.
Some days I would think, oh, that's quite good. Other days I wish I'd parked up a long time ago. There's good days and bad days, same as any other job. Just take each day as it comes. Enjoy what I'm doing, that's the main thing. I sit on that maintenance sprayer most of the summer, like, interested in the job and enjoy doing that. I think if I was in the house too long, I'd get kicked out maybe. Well, I don't know what I would do with myself. I'll go to rugby and football now and again if there's a duo and get fed. But when I was young, I didn't realise the size we'd get to. Yes, quite proud, yes. Quite proud what we've achieved. I will keep going until I can go no longer, more or less. As long as my mind's working, that's the main thing.
I want Dad to keep working. I want him to keep working on. Yeah, keep the boots on the feet, don't hang them up. He is admired. For Dad's age, he's great. He's got the knowledge. Ask him anything, he can tell you anything, any farm, any farmer. He has to keep working. I think it inspires both John and I. You know, it inspires us both, you know, to keep working hard for this business. And it is hard work. It is a good business, but it is hard work. It's enjoyable. Yeah, we're a family business, which means at night, if there's a question, you can pick up the phone. It's not a 9-to-5 office. So, yeah, no, Dad's here right to the end.
We had all the time in the world, now I just need more, I just need more. We had all the time in the world, now I just need more, I just need more. We had all the time in the world, now I just need more, I just need more. We had all the time in the world, now I just need more.
Don't try and pull the wool over people's eyes. Work hard and play hard and work hard.